I gotta. Okay. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start off by the minutes of the last meeting. Has everybody got a chance to look at that? See what you think? Any errors, omissions?
I motion to accept as published.
All right, motion's made to accept the.
I second it.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous.
Yay.
All right. I guess under the old business thing, the renovation update.
Well, first of all, the correspondence, we got a letter from the Veterans of
that's
Memorial Day
right.
Committee inviting us to march in the parade. And I think if we do anything that weekend, I'm hoping the museum will be open and we'll be there instead of marching in the parade. So we're such a small group. If people want to do it, you could just show up and you don't have to even RSVP. Library, we send people, some years we don't send people, some people we don't. So we can just wait till closer to the time to see where we are, to let them know what we're doing.
I don't do parades.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a pretty slow pace, Marjorie, I have to say, and it's downhill.
Yeah.
It's from the middle school to the town common, so it's
Yeah.
So that was just the correspondence. It was a formal invitation to the committee to attend.
Is that actually on Memorial Day?
That was the Sunday before. It's 1 o'clock on the Sunday before.
It's always the week before.
Yeah.
Oh, the week before.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Ever since I've lived here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now
Well,
what do you think about this? This might be too kitschy or something, but myself and my wife and some of my friends, kids, we reenact different periods of history. If we wanted to throw the money at getting a banner that gave the Bellingham Historical Commission, like 3 Common Street, come visit us or something like that, I would be tickled to walk down the street carrying that in kit.
In a costume.
Yeah, that's right.
That sounds
That
great.
sounds awesome.
I think that's great. I think that's a great idea.
If we have a banner, we could use it for other things too.
Absolutely.
If you go places and set up a table, but probably something that can either be held as a walking banner or can be affixed to a table for for events or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that costs some money, but
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a budget.
I've designed a couple of them through Staples. You can just buy them Staples. You upload the graphic. So if you want me to design something, send it out to everyone.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yep. I've done them through Vistaprint too.
Yeah. We have an
Yeah.
account with Staples, so we can put it on the library's account and then it can just be paid out of there.
That's a great idea because, it to me, that can be used in many ways to open the eyes of Bellingham, to let them know the historical commission's still alive and well.
Mhm.
I should
and
buy an
then-
outdoor quality banner because they cost more than the indoor, than just.
Oh,
Yeah, like a
definitely.
vinyl one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're vinyl, yeah, but there's indoor vinyl and outdoor vinyl quality ones, so.
Mhm.
Franco's coming in, hang on a second.
Mhm.
You can tell them we volunteered them for the parade.
Yeah.
No, that would be great, because even especially, if we wait a bit, if we know we're gonna open, you don't want to put that on a banner, you want a banner you can reuse.
Right. I think just the Bellingham Historical
Historical
Commission
Commission.
works. Yes, you want to be able to reuse it.
Yeah.
I would throw the address on it because I didn't know where it was, even though
Yeah.
I lived in
Well,
Bellingham.
and put a picture of the building on it too, so people know what, because they might recognize the building, but not, because who knows where Common Street is? I don't think there's a sign there.
Well, everybody's got
No.
a GPS these days.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, the Common Street's just about been wiped out.
Although it might end up with one if that's where the new cut through is going to go back to those other apartments they're building.
That's going to the other side of where Common Street used to be right in front of the museum.
Yeah, but I don't know where. Oh, okay. So that road to Walmart, to Walgreens isn't Common Street? Oh,
No,
okay.
that's just the new entrance to the town hall.
Okay.
Common Street used to run alongside the old police fire station,
Huh.
right past that. In
So
front of,
between
the
the museum
museum.
and the old police station?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and then
Okay.
right after the museum there was a house there. A big white house. I'm trying to think of the people's name that live there.
Whoever it was were the people that donated the outhouse, because the guy came in to talk to me one day and said my grandfather's house was the blah blah, and the outhouse was from his wherever. So yes.
Yeah, it's right next door. It was
Yeah.
right next door. Yeah, I forget their name, but I remember them when they lived there because I was working at the police station at the time. Yeah, so that's a great idea.
Okay, so I'll design an outdoor quality banner, like 6 feet long, maybe. That actually
Sure.
6 feet is good because that would fit on like a folding table if you have a 6-foot table at an event too.
Mhm.
Sounds
Um,
perfect.
Okay. Okay.
And you've been volunteered to walk in the Memorial Day Parade, Franco.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna order a banner. It's 6 feet long. We'll put a pole in it. You can carry it.
okay. Maybe I could just wear it like a cape, just run down the street.
Awesome,
Yeah.
even better.
That's even better.
I'm still hopeful. We're with what's going on now. I'm hopeful that what I would love to be able to do is to open, because people are always standing down there during the parade, waiting for the parade to show up. So I would love it if we could do an informal opening before the parade, like say noon we open up.
Mhm.
And then after the parade things going is have an official ribbon cutting or something at like 3:15, because all the town officials already pre there. So after the thing ends on the common, ask them to come over and do a ribbon cutting at the museum. That's kind of my, not making any real plans yet, but that's my hopeful goal, is that we'll be able
Well,
to.
we're moving along, so
Yeah.
it's possible if we could ever get the electrician over there,
Yeah.
Gary, to wire
Well,
everything.
I should be
up.
seeing Gary this week because he has work he promised to do at the library, and it won't be, he'll be in and out because it's 5 or 6 things he's got to connect, so he'll be here. Because usually I come in, it's like he's already gone, because he comes early in the morning. I get here at 9 and he showed up at 7 and he's gone by the time I get here, but he has some stuff, so I'm gonna put another bug in his ear this week. Because we really
Yeah.
do need it before April or May, before air conditioning season. We're gonna need it, you know?
Yeah, not only that, Victory,
Are
they
yeah.
called me before the holidays and asked when it was gonna get done, because I'm sure they want to close that account.
Yeah.
As a finished job, you know,
Mhm.
because now they're holding it open as an unfinished job. But
Which they don't get their money either.
Oh, no, they were paid. They were paid.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
paid. It's just they have to inspect it to make sure it turn it on after it works, you know, after it's connected to electricity.
they
So,
gotta charge it, I believe,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
make
Mhm.
sure everything works. So,
Right.
but, all right, on the, well, yeah, we're in the renovation update, so we can talk about that.
Want me to talk about the finances first, the money?
Okay,
Yeah, so I changed the form of the report to put how much we expended each month because I was getting confused as to what I had already told you guys about and what I hadn't. So right now we have $4,400 still in the town budget that it needs to be spent by July or we lose it. June 30th or we lose it. And then we have 3,500 in the gift fund that will roll over for as long as we need it. That doesn't go away. I spent a couple things this month already. I bought the laminating sheets and a laminator for $137.18. And then I bought a trash can that's on wheels. It's like one that we use for the town trash, but it's a smaller size. It has a lid that opens like that, but it's easier to bring up. If you're gonna bring trash up and down the stairs, it has wheels and I think it's a good size. So it's been helpful for throwing a lot of trash in to get things in and out of the building. Then I bought like a tape dispenser, duct tape, things we need for supplies that aren't around.
Mhm. Good.
mhm,
And then I just bought some more trash bags and I bought, so what we're gonna do for some of the displays, I think, is because the walls are that horsehair plaster, I think a lot of the things we're gonna hang, if we laminate them, we can hang them with just the sticky poster stuff on the walls and then we don't ruin the paint. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So I bought the sticky things for the poster putty or whatever it's called. And then I also bought a clear plastic desk protector for the desk that belonged to Clara Macy, because with that on it, we could actually put some documents underneath the plastic and people could see through the plastic, whatever we're going to
That's
display
good.
there. So,
Yeah.
so I spent a little bit of money on a few things that we need, but we've still got money. I haven't bought the display cases yet because I don't know where they're going to go and I don't want to spend money on something that I'm not sure if we're going to need yet. I know it was approved, but as I'm looking now that we have the sleigh in there, it's kind of big, but I still think I think it is very cool and it'll be a great place to display things. So,
Yeah, we found we also found the history of that sleigh
oh,
too.
yes, yeah,
And we put it on there.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting.
yeah. It was a letter that was sent when they donated.
Yeah, when they
Um,
donated it.
And it was 1989 or 1990, I guess is what it said.
Yeah,
It was not decades ago. Well, I guess 1990 now is decades ago, but.
yeah,
A lot of decades ago.
I know,
Yeah.
I just read something that said when 1970 was 50 years ago, and it's like, no, that can't be. But it
Yeah.
was.
yeah. It's just like the distance between 1918 and
Yeah,
19.
right, yeah, that Facebook post did not make me happy either, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, but it's not, but it had that it was used for delivering groceries in North Bellingham, and there was some tie to someone in Townsend, Massachusetts with it too, but the history is there in the
Mhm.
letter. I think the letter probably should be, it's kind of faded, that's in the frame, so I probably should just retype it and make it so it's, or just take out the relevant parts for us, keep the letter somewhere else and just write the relevant parts of what people need to know about where it came from and why it's there.
Yeah, but pretty interesting. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know, did you notice, Bernadette? I sent you the thing that I went and drilled all the holes
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so there were two file cabinets that were like behind where the staff desk was there, that we rolled them out of the way and we put a bookcase back there so we could put the router, a bunch of tech things, so they're not just with wires kind of hanging everywhere. We prettied them up. And of course, when I went over on Thursday, I forgot to bring the 3-foot cord. There's like a 15-foot Ethernet cord between things that are this far apart. So I bought a 3-foot cord just to make it. It's going to look a lot nicer. We can keep the laminator and the laptop and things on these shelves. But right now, those file cabinets, there's a lot of files that need to be gone through. But at some point, we'll have them move into when we make space in the basement. We'll have them move to the basement until we have time to go through the contents of the file cabinets. They're kind of like, there's a file on topics that are there. So I think they all need to be collated in a better system for us to keep track of what we have for information there. You raising your hand, Marjorie, or is that, that's my thing.
I was scratching my eye.
Well, that was, no, my hand, when I put my thing up, my hand goes up. So anyway. So I made a checklist of things that need to be done. So Gary needs to collect the mini splits. Rick contacting Franklin Glass to get the new top of that display case. So that it's the nice wood display case that we're keeping. One corner of it, the glass is actually cracked, and it's right now we have duct tape and like something so no one cuts themselves when they walk by it. So that piece of glass needs to be replaced. And then Ron needs to make a new shelf for that display case so we can display it, and he needs to do the display for the mile marker.
Yes, I'm gonna talk to him this week on that again to get them going, because they've been working on other projects, but.
So after we move some things around, when we brought back the bench won't fit on top of the thing where we thought it was going to go. So right now we have the bench. If you walk in, it's in front of the front window to the right, and if it's down that long space there. So we move perfectly. So we move the school bell to be right to the right of that, and there's a space right to the right of that I think it'll be perfect to put the mile marker. So we have still a pretty prominent place up against a wall. And that's the municipal area. So that really is kind of more of a town thing than a it's. So I think it's a good place. It'll be out of the way, but still you'll walk in, it'll be right to your right when you look at the building. The other thing, so once we have a bunch of heavy things we need to move, I'll contact the DPW to get the guys there. They can move those file cabinets downstairs. I think there's some bigger things downstairs like that typing table that we found. So there's more stuff they can get rid of for us because it's like a Selectric typewriter from the 70s that's on a counter. So we're trying to make space so we can walk around downstairs. Pam has been actually.
She's been going like crazy down there.
She's really good at going through and kind of moving stuff around and getting rid of stuff that, that's just junk that doesn't really belong there. And then other things in boxes that we need to go through to try to minimize the space. But now you can almost walk around the whole bottom. There's also the pieces. This may be something you should discuss. So there are pieces of wood that went to the original windows of Town Hall. So they're just like round, they're unique shapes. They're round, and they're kind of rotting and falling apart. My feeling is, and there's like 3 of them. My feeling is maybe we should keep one, the smallest one, and get rid of the other bigger ones. But for now, I think we just move them to Domino's and get them out of the way so we can do what we need to do. But I think everyone needs to see these things so we can make a decision, or we need to talk to someone about what are the repercussions of getting rid of something that's 300 years old, you know? I think everyone else has been afraid to throw them away. I think if we keep one as a sample of what windows look like, we're doing our due diligence, but that needs to be a discussion that we all have before we,
That sounds good to me.
before we ditch things. Because I think actually the smaller one actually might fit up like above the entryway or something that we could just display it somewhere, as you know, as somewhere out of the way, but still, and then just tell people what it is.
That sounds great.
And then Steve, I'm going to rely on you to help me get the military and public safety display organized, because that's, you know, we want to get the, what uniforms are we going to highlight, and just get that area organized. Right now, there's a lot of other stuff in there because I've been moving stuff to that area because I haven't been working on, I've been working on the farming and home area. So as far as the home area goes, Rick and I were measuring the sleigh, and we think that the dollhouse would actually fit on the back of the sleigh quite nicely. And I think that would be a good space for it, because it would be, you know, in the home and the area where we're having the home and farming stuff. And it would be just like on display in the back of the sleigh. Would probably need a piece of plywood to put on top of it.
Yeah, Ronnie has all.
Because otherwise, if
kinds of
it's
stuff
sitting
like
in the sleigh, I think it'd lose something. So I think the plywood.
That's what I was picturing when you said it. And I was thinking to myself, you know, it should be up high, like above the level of the sleigh.
Right, but I think if we just put get a piece of plywood stained or something to put on it, that's something Ron, I'm sure, can do for us. And then we can decide which way it would fit either way, because it's more than 40. So you know, we have to decide what, I think we have to see it to actually see which way it goes in. So I think once you get, we probably want to ask the woman to touch base with her to get it delivered to us, so we can, because we could even just sit it in there now as it is and build a platform, you know. It would be nice to have the platform ready though, so it's ready just to sit on it whenever it's delivered. So
she could give us the dimensions.
We have the dimension. The dimensions are in the dimensions are in the thing she sent to us. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you and I can talk about with Tehran about getting something.
Have Ronnie make something.
Which way we face it and where it should go. But I think it's really be a good use of that space, because then we can put household things around it that we have that are like the household kitchen tools or things that we have that belong to other people in town can be in that same area where there's an actual house.
Sounds great.
Well, I've got something that was brought to my attention today, and it's I'm gonna pick somebody's brain. And Steve, the historian here, I don't know if you basically have ever heard this, but there was a family that lived on Glenbrook Avenue off of South Main Street, Fleetwood, Glenbrook, that abuts the farm in the back, which is Wade's Pond, Wade's Field, and all that stuff. This Don, his name is Don Deloria. They lived on Glenbrook Ave. He sent me this morning at 9 o'clock, and he said, Rick, I was recently reminded of an old 3-grave cemetery near our former home on Glenbrook Avenue. It had been neglected for years and had fallen into disrepair. There used to be a dairy barn on 126 across from Joe Deloria's house. The road to the barn and all the way through the open field led to a cemetery that was in the woods at the far left end of the field. We always assumed it was a family cemetery from a long time ago. The center monument was made of stone and stood probably 4 feet high. And he says, is this something the historical commission would be interested in? In all the years that I worked for the town and all all the fields and woods that I, that I went through for fires or whatever, I have never, ever even heard of a 3 grave lot in the back of that field.
I never heard of it. I can't, I actually, it's interesting, just a month ago, I went to a talk on basically topics like this. And a lot of times, if you find 3 graves that are still standing, it's representative of many more burials that were there. Either the markers are tipped over or they were made out of wood or whatever. But if you go back there with like ground penetrating radar, you'll find that the markers that remain are a fraction of the graves.
Well, I sent him one of the, the Google map picture of the field. And I said, could you please highlight the area where this thing is so that when the weather gets better, we can probably make a little expedition out there and see if we can find it.
Make an easy walk, Marjorie.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I'd be all over that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I told him, well, I got back to him right away and I said, yes, we'd be very interested. I said, with all the years that I've been in Bellingham, I've never even heard of this.
So does his family still own the land or not?
I think that land belongs to the Amish people,
Oh, okay.
but because they went back to Pennsylvania, came back and paid cash for the land. And so they own the fields and all that, but then they
Went
left.
to Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
on a
went on a
mission.
two-year supposedly mission to Africa. So
Yeah.
I don't know I think the only ones that are still around may be the Bay State structures or whatever.
I
That's
think
what I was
part of
gonna
that-
say. Those would be the people that would know. what's
Basically to
going
ask
on.
permission,
Right. Yeah.
to go up that road to where the barn was, because I know where that is. That's right across
it
from
looks-
Easy
So
Street.
there's like, it looks like there's 4 houses on that street. There's only 1 or 2 that look like they abut like nothing land. The rest looks like they have other houses in their backyard. Do you know what number Glenbrook? Did he give you the number?
No,
No? Okay.
he didn't give me the number on Glenbrook, but yeah,
Can you forward all
Glenbrook
the
and well,
information you have?
Fleetwood is the one that really backs up to the field.
Right, so there's lots of fields behind Fleetwood. There's like a small piece behind 2 houses on Glenbrook, but maybe it's on the corner or something, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we need more information exactly where it is too. Well, that's, you asked him where that was, so that'll be good. If he gets.
Yeah, I'll ask him to circle it, what
Yeah.
part of the wooded area up
Yeah.
there, because I guess they visited it, so.
Yeah.
I
I mean, if he
sent
knows
him-
where it is and he could join you for to,
He lives in Florida now,
oh, okay, okay.
I think, or in or South Carolina, so.
Long walk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
can
he
you
doesn't
forward,
want to come here.
can you forward the, what you already have? I've got a little file I'm keeping, on all the mysteries that are coming up here in Bellingham.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll
I think
forward
these things
that.
will fill in over time, but
I'll forward that email to you. That he sent me.
the chances that they were buried there without records is virtually 0, and there's a somewhat good chance that, that the gray filing cabinets downstairs,
Mhm.
there's records from meeting minutes and a bunch of stuff like that. If I had a rough
Bruce
idea of when they
Lord.
got put there, we might be able to figure out who's buried there.
Yeah, Bruce Lord did an awful lot of research. That he's in that filer cabinet downstairs.
Mm.
It probably would be. He had offered to come down to the museum, but at the time it was totally torn apart. New floors and painting and stuff. And I said, well, we're really not at that point yet. But
I mean, I have Bruce's email. If you want me to drop him an email and see if he knows anything about it, I can.
yeah, if you want to send him an email, he may say
Why
it's
don't
in
you
the
forward
file
it? Why don't you
cabinet.
forward it to me too, Rick? That way I don't
Okay.
have it to forward to Bruce.
Yeah, because he'll. He'll.
If
if
he's
he's
ever
got
heard
it.
Right.
If he's got it, definitely.
I don't want to drag this out too much on that topic, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Depending on whether they were Congregationalists or Baptist, like the Congregationalists didn't just bury people without getting permission to do it. And the way that usually went down, which this fits perfectly, because that's a ways from where the meeting house was, right? So
Mhm.
if the roads were impassable and stuff like that, they would petition the town to bury people, you know, at a lot close to a group of families. And that's
Mhm.
usually how these things, you know, happened. It was inconvenient to take them to whatever, like Center Cemetery.
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. That could be even older than some of the ones way up in North Bellingham. Because the
Could be.
oldest section, yeah, the oldest section of that one on, was it Oak Hill Cemetery there by Staples? The oldest gravestones are down by the road, closer to Stallbrook, you know, and I said, these probably could predate that.
I think
Possible.
that has to do with the Baptist church, that North Cemetery, at least. I know they got donated land right up
Mhm.
there that they've still been making money because of utility rights of ways, that they've got income from property up right there. So I'm pretty sure that cemetery has to do with the Baptist church.
Yeah. So Steve,
That's the one near Walmart you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Steve, what you're saying is back years in the old days like that, families just didn't bury people on their own property without notifying somebody, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would
Or-
usually violate either something in the town itself or something with the religious community that they were part of.
Oh,
But they
okay.
would have had to petition somebody, either the town themselves or their church.
This would be interesting. Yeah, I'll send you guys that,
Mm.
that little
Get some good
email, and
info. That could make a good Crimfield comments article.
Yeah.
Ooh,
as we go for,
yay.
when spring comes, we, like you say, we can do an easy walk up the road and we'll go look for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So,
once we get the idea about what we're gonna do with the dollhouse, I'll contact Diane Slopak to arrange a time, because she said she's willing to deliver it. So we'll talk about when she can get the dollhouse to us. We already have the cobbler's bench. And I've got
Mhm.
all kinds of little shoe things around it. It looks really good. I haven't heard back from Helen Whiting about the letters in the medical kit, so I'll drop her another email to remind her. I sent her an email with the days and times I'd be there and asked her to drop it off, and I haven't heard back from her yet. So, I mean, and this is small stuff. I could ask her to just drop it off at the library at her convenience too, because then it's not a timing thing. The bench, I didn't know how big it was, so and he came over like the first week he called. He came over when we were there, and the house, obviously, I want the house brought there because it will just be easier at a time that
Mhm.
a few of us are there to make sure we can get it in place and whatever. So, but I'll recontact Helen to let her know that we are waiting for those things. If she wants to just drop them off at the library, that's fine, because it's a medical kit and some letters, so it shouldn't be that big of a thing to drop off.
if you have the thing on the dimensions of that dollhouse, if you could send it to me
I'll
again,
send you-
because,
Yep.
yeah. Then I can have Ronnie and Ken make a platform for it for the
Yeah.
sleigh.
And now,
Put it in the
if they
slate.
have to buy a piece of plywood, maybe, they get one for that, they can make the shelf, maybe the same piece of plywood could do both
Yeah,
shelf because if they buy a nice piece of plywood, they could stain it, or even someone would stain it to put in the display case too.
mhm.
They'd be able to get both pieces of wood out of one piece of wood they buy.
If you buy plywood, you're gonna want to make sure and get it from Bellingham lumber as opposed to Home Depot.
Yeah.
Cannot
I think-
find,
Yeah.
cannot find good lumber. Bellingham.
There's no good lumber at Home Depot.
Yeah,
No.
I know, the town has an account with Bellingham Lumber, so that's probably where
Yeah.
Ron would go, I would guess, yeah.
Mhm.
So we don't really have anything under new business, so.
Oh, I have new business.
Okay,
Yeah, I mentioned to Bernadette, we actually cleaned out our files, and I'm not sure here, it's backwards, but I've got 3 booklets from different churches that talk about their history. And this one is St. Brendan's Centennial booklet. It's in great shape. I have one for St. Blaise, and this was celebrating 50 years, and it's in great shape. And I actually have St. Brendan's, and it's okay. It's not, the others are like a shiny, and this was it's another document of their history. So I'd love to get them out of my house. And if there's a place that they can be,
Yeah, right now, we don't really, I mean, not that we don't have, I'm sure there is stuff about churches in there. I don't know where those are, but I think we definitely want to have those, so there's, well, I could see us having binders or an area where the church
Yeah.
history things are kept, absolutely.
it felt like it
St.
was
Brendan's-
appropriate.
St. Brendan's Centennial was about 27 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 1995. Yeah.
Good math there, Steve. 27.
Yeah,
years.
well, I helped them do the 125th, so I knew that one.
Great recall. I can't remember what I did yesterday, Steve. So it's like,
All right, so I can get those either to you at the library.
Yeah, just
Bernadette.
drop them off. Yeah. So,
Great.
as far as future dates, what I've been doing is, I've been actually going there on Thursdays with the the girls, instead of some Saturdays, but mostly Thursdays, we're meeting from 4 to 6. So I'm just gonna, that's for this week. I'm going over on Thursday. If anyone can meet up, that's great. What I'll do each week is send out a schedule when I'm gonna be there. And Steve, I really would like to coordinate some time with you so we can talk about the military area, in the next month or so. So just let me know. School vacation week, I'm planning on meeting her more hours. So she must make up some hours either in the morning or in the afternoon. So once I set that schedule with her, I'll let you all know what it is. And Steve, if there's a day that works better for you, I'm pretty flexible. And personally, I'd rather do it on a weekday than a weekend. So
Yeah, I mean, 4 to 6 on a Thursdays might be good for me. I'm going to apologize in advance. My daughter is getting married in April, and I didn't realize that her one day was going to cost me day after day after day. And
Yeah.
my son was in a serious car accident. He's doing all right. But I was out in Nevada at the hospital for a few days, and that threw off a whole bunch of stuff that I had going on. So,
Oh dear, wow.
everything is kind of backed up right now.
Yeah.
family
So-
first, Steve, family first.
No problem, but just let me know what would be a good time, because even if we could get it, you have a key to the building, right, Steve?
I do.
Yeah, so even if we could get a plan together, meet there once, and then you could do a time that works for you, that would be, that would be great, so we're on the same page at least.
You don't have to apologize for your daughter getting married.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, good.
Well, after this call, I'm going to be upstairs painting, in preparation for a guest that are going to be in and out of here in the next 2 months. So
He's got to apologize to his wallet.
yeah, there's that. Yeah.
But, right, so
I really
anybody,
feel like there's a lot less stuff upstairs in the museum now. It looks, I can see kind of feel like I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, which is encouraging.
floor space is opening up.
I'm at the point now that I'm actually writing descriptions of things. I want to start hanging things on the walls more. So I think we're in a really good, we're in a good position to start
Mhm.
getting some serious
Yeah.
stuff done. So
We're
and I think
we're making
even-
headway.
And even if it's not all done, as long as it looks neat and clean, I think we can still open on Memorial Day weekend. It doesn't have to be
Mhm.
perfect, as long as there's displays for people to things, stories for them to read.
Yep.
All the boxes that were on the tables, Rick, I actually just stacked them up next to the bookcase you just installed, so the table is free for workspace now, which is nice. 'Cause
Yeah,
we'll
we
just
can
go
get
through
the computer set up over there too.
Yeah.
At some point, we can find out if that internet connections work.
Yeah.
Over there.
electricity.
but-
Yeah, so we have 2 laptops. One is connected, it's connected hardwired to the town network, and it's set up for my access to the network because I have all my files there. The other one is just a laptop that will go on the Wi-Fi that anyone can use for whatever they want to use it for. So one is kind of a staff, one is for me to use when I'm there, because then I can get access all the files that I already have. But she upgraded them to Windows 10. They're okay. They're a little slow, but they're laptops. So.
Yeah.
And there's access. I think if people come in and do research and want to just sit down and look online for something while they're doing things, they'll have that, there'll be an internet machine for the public to use too, when we really get things going.
Oh, that's great.
Sounds good. Well, if anybody else has anything to bring up, if not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Mo- Motions made second and third to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Great.
All those opposed? Aye, ayes have it. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thanks.
Great
Steve,
to
care,
see
good
you.
night.
Get your
All
painting
right.
pants on, Steve.
Take
Say it
care.
again?
Get your painting pants on.
That's right. That's where I'm headed. Take care.
Yeah, all right.
Have a good
Take
night.
care, right? Thank you.
Night.